Okay, students, this lecture will deal with the veins of the head and neck. And of course, always remember that when we're talking about veins, veins are simply returning deoxygenated blood, aka as an abbreviation DOB, Delta Oscar Bravo, deoxygenated blood, from different parts of the body to the heart, therefore to the lungs to receive oxygen, back to the heart, and then the oxygenated blood will be distributed throughout the body. But again, veins are different type of vessels to return the deoxygenated blood back to the heart. And in previous lectures, I already talked about the structure of the actual veins. So the learning objective here is simply the following. Identify some of the veins in the head and neck area and their functions. And just want to talk about something, the leading causes of death in the United States according to the Centers for Disease Control. Oh yeah, and I did not add this to the objective. And also I'm going to just briefly talk about the leading causes of death overall according to the World Health Organization, in which that they look at some of the stats worldwide. The CDC looks at the stats here in the United States, particularly speaking, but the World Health Organization looks at the stats on a worldwide basis. CDC located in Atlanta, Georgia. World Health Organization, I believe this is located in Switzerland. Okay, so some of the leading causes of death, and this is something that which maybe I could have talked about when I talked about, I guess, the heart and whatnot, right? But in terms of heart diseases, and I believe that this kind of includes it includes kind of a wide variety of heart-associated type of things there, and cardiovascular things. So this is the leading cause of death according to the CDC, Center for Disease Control. All right, and this graph was simply or the data to construct this graph is based upon data in 2016, 2017. So we have heart disease, number one, and cancer, unfortunately, is kind of running a close second. But again, so since we're dealing with the heart right now, or since we're dealing with the circulatory system, I just thought that it would just be interesting to actually demonstrate and show that. And on some level or another, I'm sure that will probably translate on some level or another, maybe the causes of death with those who have passed away, with the bodies who you're going to have to deal with in your profession. According to the World Health Organization, we call it WHO. That's just the abbreviation WHO. All right, heart disease. Okay, number one, again, stats from 2016, and heart disease is is number one overall. The stats are pretty interesting as it relates to the World Health Organization there. They do have breakdowns in terms of the different levels of the SES, social economic status, in terms of, and these values, these numbers and these values may kind of flip and switch when they look at in terms of maybe developing countries, aka third world countries, but the proper term is more so developing countries versus developed, or that, as well as looking at basically the pool of people who are suffering in poverty versus low middle class, upper middle class, and upper class. So I did not I did not include that in this slideshow, but I mean, if you're interested, go take a look at it, and you'll see how these values and these numbers kind of switch as it relates to the data. Okay, the dural sinuses, they receive blood from the from the brain, the skull, the orbit, and the inner ear. All of the blood from the brain goes to these sinuses, these areas there, right? And are eventually dumped into the internal jugular vein. All right? And this is just just a schematic of the head here. All right. So here you have the external jugular vein. All right, and it's this area right here. All right, the external jugular vein. All right, and that's this. It's more superficial, kind of more closer to the surface than the internal jugular vein, located on each side of the neck. So you're going to have, the right external jugular vein, the left external jugular vein, and that drains blood from the head, brain, face, and neck, and it carries it towards the heart. Again, veins are carrying things, the blood towards the heart. And then you have the internal jugular, collects blood from the brain, the superficial parts of the face, neck, and returns blood to the heart. And again, like I said, and I've said this many times before, the color is blue, but again, like I said, the blood definitely is not blue. A lot of times we just use the color blue to distinguish the red, because blue indicates vein deoxygenated blood. Again, the blood is not blue, it's actually a darker red, actually. But if we're talking about arterial systems, we use the color red to indicate oxygenated blood. So anyway, you have, again, the veins, the temporal, maxillary, facial, the right subclavian. Subclavian simply means that it's going underneath the clavicle. Sub meaning under. All right. You have the occipital, occipital sinus, sigmoid area. So again, just the different areas, the different veins, all right, from the head that's going to actually coming down to the jugular and eventually make its way where? To the superior vena cava. And from the superior vena cava, it is going to go into the heart, and particularly where in the heart? Into the right atrium. All right, thank you.